Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something I hear people say, but I feel like it's largely self-correcting in a well-written novice program, or even the most decently written one. All right, and people will point out that a lot of the research shows and their observations as coaches, trainers, etc., show that novice lifters have no idea what training to failure is. So when we say something like we can get maximum hypertrophy on a set for set basis, which, obviously we never want just one set, uh, you know, by stopping 2 to 3 reps shy of failure. But they're like novices don't know what this is, and their 2 reps short of failure might be 8 or 10 or whatever. And I'm going to disagree with that logic because what are we doing in novice programs? Right? Novice programs aren't doing a bunch of machines. They're not usually letting you do a lot of single joint movements. They are multi joint exercises for the most part. Look at almost every decent novice program. You tend to see the squat, the bench, the deadlift, right? You see overhead pressing, rows, etc. Sometimes chins, depending upon if they believe novices are going to be strong enough to do them. Maybe you'll see some other stuff in there. But for the most part, these are the foundational movements, right? They're doing big barbell movements. All right. In the case of any well-written novice program, what are we doing? They're adding weight every workout or every week, all the way until they start seeing form breakdown or they miss a rep, in which case then they reduce the weight. So if you're running, I don't know, a 5x5 on the back squat and the bench press, right? So you're doing those as part of the training. It's very common. You see that in a lot of novice programs. If you're adding weight every workout, you're getting progressive overload, even if they have selected a weight that is, their 13 rep max that they're doing fives with. All right, well, that's where they were from week one. Okay, and let's say that's whatever on the bar, 120 pounds. So it's probably not even going to be that much for a novice. But if they're adding 5 pounds every workout, within 2 weeks, we put 30 more pounds on the bar. There's progressive overload present. Novices grow easily. We're now doing multiple sets of big barbell movements, usually multiple times a week, in which they are adding weight every single workout. And they add weight until either the form starts looking really bad or they miss a rep, right? They fail. But we don't need to go to failure. Ideally, we don't want them going to failure. We just want them to go till technical form breakdown. Isn't that good enough? If we're hitting technical failure, that means at least one of the major muscles has fatigued enough that that muscle is pretty close to failure, if not reaching failure. Okay? At least one of the major muscles, and it means they're all working hard. Well, what happens if we're doing multiple big exercises? Let's say you've built a novice program around squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, rows. Most of the muscles of the body are getting hit by 2 different exercises. Maybe not the biceps. But novices are good. They're going to throw curls in anyways, whether you tell them to or not. They're not going to follow the program. So even the biceps are going to get that. So are we really worried about them not getting that close to failure on a few of the exercises or a few of the sets? I'm going to say no, because progressive overload is present. It's present in these systems. And this is how you bypass this tendency. That's how you bypass it. Because again, novices don't usually know what failure feels like. They don't get that close to it. And again, that's what a lot of researchers have found out. When they, again, that idea comes from they've taken people and like, well, we're trying to get to a 10 rep max on the squat. Right? And then when they select a weight that they feel is 1 rep in reserve, they have them do an AMRAP set. And, they've had stuff to where they've got people hitting 17, 18, 20 reps with their supposed 10 rep max, particularly novices. Well, that's going to quickly eliminate in a system like this. What if that's really true? What if the weight they're using at 8 reps in reserve, and we're outside of the considered to be hypertrophic range. Well, if it's a big barbell movement and they're loading a fair amount of weight, they're getting some training response. They're novices. They can sneeze and gain muscle. But if you're adding weight, put it in perspective this way. What if their 5 rep max versus their 13 rep max is only 10 pounds apart? It probably is. See where we're going here? It may be 20 pounds, maybe 30 pounds. They're going to be there within 2 weeks. And every workout they would have increased tension on the muscles through progressive overload. They're still going to grow. And we're going to reach that threshold very quickly. Now, the downside is people say, yeah, but you can't give novices, a reps in reserve or RPE system because of this. Well, yeah, but we understand this. Do any novice programs use that? I mean, think about all the popular novice programs out there. I have a couple. All right, look at strong lifts, look at starting strength, look at any of these things. Do any of them have them do that? No. What about even if you took a novice who, still a novice but has a little lifting experience, you throw him on 5-3-1, boring but big. I think that's a great novice template. They're going to do that one AMRAP. They're going to do a bunch of volume with the big movements afterwards. So what if they don't get that close to failure? They're getting a lot of overall volume, at least one really hard set every workout, right? And if they keep adding weight every training cycle like they're supposed to, even on a system like that, as long as they keep adding the weight at the training cycle every 3 weeks, what's going to happen? Progression's going to be there. All that stuff based on percentages. And then if they start doing all the rowing and the pull-ups and other stuff that's thrown into that program, maybe some of the single leg exercises, what's going to happen? They're going to get there through sheer volume anyways. And they're still going to have that hard set if they do it right. And even if they come up a few reps short. Let's say they didn't really push those hard sets that hard, but they keep adding 5 or 10 pounds, depending on if it's an upper or lower lift every training cycle. Well, it'll take them a little longer to get it up perfect, but they'll still get there. And that's the point. None of this matters if you put them on a decent system. Put them on a decent system, it's self-correcting in the long term. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.